Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Just want to say a massive thanks to all my subscribers for your continuing support. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about a 20-stone prisoner that took on 100 prison officers in riot gear. The John Paul Onyemichi in 2018 took on 100 prison staff in riot gear. But before I get into it, I just want to say a massive thanks to all my Patreon members that have joined up to my Patreon. And in this Patreon, you get access to my private Discord that has about 10 different channels. It has prison news, it has my fitness videos, it has support, mental health talk, IPP channel, and a few other numerous different channels. But I just want to give a big shout out to Blair Piggin, Julie Port, and Tor Holman. These are the latest patrons to my channel, so thank you very much for your support. It goes a long way to helping my channel. So John Paul Onyemichi from London was serving life with a minimum term of 25 years. And he was serving this sentence for 3 attacks on police officers. And this was all in the same period of time. He attacked 2 police officers, cutting one of their throats, almost killing him. But his other officers come to the rescue and actually saved him. But they were attacked in the process because John Paul Onyemichi had been on a rampage previous to this, a 5-day rampage, going through the town, torturing and going on reckless. And whilst serving time in HMP Full Sutton in 2018, when he was about 8 years into his sentence, he went on a rampage through one of the wings in HMP Full Sutton, tearing apart the wing, setting fire to the kitchens and fighting with the prison officers. But before this happened, on that same day, he was telling the prison officers that he was going to seriously hurt one of them because they were telling him that he was getting moved. And obviously when a prisoner is in a certain prison, sometimes they feel a bit settled, and he's been told he's getting moved to another prison. So he's reacted irrational and told the prison officer that he's going to murder him if they try and transfer him off the wing. So he made those threats. Then he went up behind an officer, smashed him over the head with a pan, then went on a rampage through the prison. But I'll just show you the video now.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared I walk a straight path. Not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises, and when they finally think you're wounded.
But as you can see in the video, he's went into the kitchen, set fire to it. All the other prisoners have been locked down and they're trying to bring him under control. But he's 6'2" and weighing 20 stone. So this man was a force to be reckoned with. And he also had a big name as a fighter in the high security estate. Because of his behaviour and the way he must have been, obviously he must have had mental health problems the way that he's going on, especially for the offences that he was in prison for. And whilst in prison, he was threatening to kill prison officers, he was assaulting prison officers, he was fighting with the other inmates. He didn't really get on with many people, because a lot of you that might be following Yami B's TV, his channel on YouTube as well. Funnily enough, I came across his video a couple of days ago whilst I was already researching to make this video. And Yami broke down a few things, and I was asking him in the comments about John Paul, and he was telling us that he was a force to be reckoned with. And him and Yami actually come to an altercation at one point. But Yami, the way he was in the system, always tooled up. Yami told us that when Onyemichi come up to him, put it on him, Yami said, take your chance, but I've got something in my pocket and you'll have to put us down. And supposedly he felt Yami's tool and realised what would happen afterwards, and it was dissolved. Nothing happened of it. But I was told that he fought his way through the system, and he was even in trouble with the Brotherhood because he was John Paul Onyemichi was a Muslim himself, and the Muslim Brotherhood all stick together in the high security estate. But he even fell out with the brothers, and at one point he was put down the segregation unit for attacking one of them. But when he come back onto the wing, the dispute was settled because it probably would have escalated, and he probably would have ended up getting murdered himself, because when the Brotherhood are after you and there's a big load of those in the same prison and you've got trouble with them, and even though Onyemichi was one of them, they obviously all stick together, and he might have turned like he did and he attacked one of them, so he then would have come up to attack himself, but the situation must have been solved, and nothing further happened. But I'll just tell you a little bit about his crimes and what he got his 25-year life sentence for. So Onyemichi cut PC Paul Madden's throat and slashed a community support officer, Dolata, in Ealing, London. The Old Bailey heard the attack was the culmination of a 5-day crime spree by the 30-year-old in December 2010. Onyemichi lived on Wise Road, Stratford, East London, and he was found guilty of 2 counts of attempted murder and attacking a third officer. As well as the attempted murder charges, Onyemichi, who received a life sentence, was convicted of causing grievous bodily harm with intent, robbery, and attempting to cause grievous bodily harm. The court heard the defendant cut PC Madden's throat as people watched and then lashed out with his knife at the other officers who tried to restrain him. PC Madden's life was saved by retired heart surgeon Samad Tajakamiri, who happened to pass the scene as he was Christmas shopping. The surgeon, who had retired from Harefield Hospital 3 weeks earlier, told the court he had seen the officer lying on the ground with lots of dark blood on the right side of his neck. I turned my attention to him immediately and compressed his neck, holding it. He said, "It's my duty, I guess. I'm sure anyone in my profession would do the same. It's very humbling that my intervention contributed to the outcome of possibly saving his life." PC Madden, 23, received emergency surgery for injuries to his neck, throat and face. He was left with permanent scarring. PCSO Dolata, 27, needed 12 stitches to his head. The judge said Onyemichi had not shown any remorse. He added he used a knife on the face and neck of a police officer who was doing his job. Paul Madden would have died within 2 to 3 minutes with the loss of blood without the help he received from the passing doctor. The jury heard that minutes before the attack, Onyemichi had become agitated when challenged about his ticket on a bus in New Broadway. Support officers called to the scene recognized him as a man who was wanted for a previous attack. PC Madden, who thought Onyemichi might be armed, was stabbed as he tried to arrest him. At the trial, the defendant was on license at the time, having been jailed for 2 years for causing death by dangerous driving while under the influence of drugs. While in jail, he attacked a prison officer using a pencil as a homemade weapon and committed other violent offences. He had also stolen a laptop in Fulham, West London, 6 days before the stabbings in Ealing. Onyemichi threatened to murder the computer owner, telling him, "I do this for a living." Detective Chief Inspector John McFarlane said he is one of the most dangerous men in Britain. Onyemichi refused to come out of his cell throughout his trial. So obviously listening to that, you can tell what type of man and how dangerous Onyemichi was. So going into prison with a life sentence with a recommendation of 25 years, this man must have thought he had nothing to lose. So you can imagine he's walking around the wing 20 stone, intimidating people, and you can bet the majority were scared of him. Because someone of his stature, weight, height, and size, coming on strong would be a massive force to be reckoned with. So both prison officers and prisoners would have been scared of Onyemichi if he went off his head. But as you've seen in that video, he was that dangerous and that feared. They had to get 100 prison officers in riot gear. When I first read it, I thought they were exaggerating when they said 100 officers, but you could see in that video where they're piling down both sides of the air landing that you could see there was definitely around about 100 of them there. But even with 100 officers, you could see them chucking batons at him or trying to hit him with batons. He was just running up and down the middle of them. He must have lost his head and he's in that much of a psychotic mood. Nothing could put him down. But as you've seen at the end, when he's fell through the netting down onto the staircase and he's injured his leg, this is when it must have all come under control after that, because you can see the way he landed that he's obviously seriously hurt his leg. But when I've been researching it up, you couldn't find anything more on what happened after this, apart from he got transferred to HMP Woodhill and put on the Category A unit where the likes of Charles Bronson is now. And he got sentenced via video link for that riot, should you call it. And he was done with arson. He had about 6 or 7 different charges, which was arson, affray, assaulting prison officers. And for that, he got an additional 6 years, 9 months put on top of his 25-year sentence. So once that sentence was up, or the 25-year recommendation, he then would have had to do that before he was considered for parole. But what I didn't realize until I actually seen Yami's video, when he said at the end, "Rest in peace," I hadn't realized when I was researching this, because it's nowhere to be found on Google, or I couldn't come across it, or I didn't come across it, is that he's actually dead. He died not long after that riot when the prison officers were trying to get him down from the netting. And I only know this through speaking with Yami B. And he told us that not long after when this happened, when he fell through the netting and he injured his leg, he refused treatment and he got an infection, and the infection actually killed him. So I'm not sure what year it was, but if it wasn't long after this and that's when he got the infection, I'm assuming it must have been around about 2019. Yeah, because that's when he got sentenced again, I think, for that riot. That's maybe the year when he died. If anybody else knows the story better than me, from what I've researched, if anyone knew him personally and you knew exactly what he died with and how, please tell us in the comments. But that is as much as I know. I've researched it in depth. I've looked at his background. I've looked at what he was actually in prison for. But by looking at everything that I've seen and everything that I've just told you all about there, Onyemichi was definitely one of the most dangerous men in the high security prisons. But I hope everyone enjoyed that. And if you are enjoying the content, remember to like and subscribe. But again, 70% of my viewers are still not subscribed to my channel. So if you are enjoying the content, please go down, double check to make sure you are subscribed. And if you're not, hit that subscribe button. It's free of charge. It helps me channel grow, and I can get bigger and better podcast guests on in the future. And it just makes the channel's algorithm grow even better to get me videos out there even more. But again, thank you all for watching. Take care.